Welcome to Moments with Marianne. I'm so delighted we're spending this time here today. We have a very inspiring show coming right up with special guest Brian-Scudamore, and he's here today to share with us his new book, Willing to Fail: How Failure Can Be Your Key to Success. Now, Brian started his business in Vancouver, Canada at the age of 18 and later went on to franchise 1-800-GOT-JUNK as a way of expanding operations. Today, 1-800-GOT-JUNK has 1,000 trucks on the road throughout some 180 locations in Canada, the United States, and Australia. Brian has received wide recognition in the media and business community for 1-800-GOT-JUNK and has celebrated appearances on the highly acclaimed Undercover Boss Canada, The Dr. Oz Show, Dr. Phil, CNN, ABC Nightline, The Today Show, and many more. So let's welcome to the show, Brian-Scudamore.
Thanks for having me, Marianne. Excited to be here.
What a pleasure it is to have you here. And my goodness, I think once people pick up your book, obviously because it sold through their first printing, I mean, they could not put this down. They're telling their friends. I mean, as an author, you have to be so excited.
I am excited. I remember when we published, we ordered way more books than was recommended. We ordered 30,000 books and we were told we were crazy. But like you said, we went through that first run and ordered a second run, and it's been exciting. I wrote this book to inspire. I wrote this book to not just be a book about entrepreneurship, but some life lessons and things learned on my journey of a road less traveled, and the impact has been even greater than I would have ever imagined.
Yeah, and that's so important because I think a lot of times when people look at businesses that they think, gosh, that's a really successful business, they don't really understand the pitfalls that have come along with it and the lessons that have been learned along the way.
Yeah, it's easy for me to sit there, or people say it must be easy for me to sit there and go, wow, you've got this $400 million group of companies right now. You know, it's easy to look back at failure and say, oh, it was so easy and I learned from all these failures. My book titled WTF, Willing to Fail, the title came out after the book was completely written because I realized there was such a pattern of failure, of making mistakes, but these mistakes really had to happen for me to get the business to the next level, for me to get my leadership and even my own personal drive and leadership skills. I had to make some mistakes to learn as to how to be better.
Well, and for our listeners that are new to your story, I mean, you dropped out of high school and you kind of blazed your own trail.
Yeah, so I was one course short of graduating from high school. My father, who is a liver transplant surgeon, thought, you know, what's my son doing? And then all my friends started to go to college, and I talked my way into college. I felt like I really wanted to go to school and wanted to keep learning. And so I talked my way in as a high school dropout, and I had to fund my own education. And there I was in a McDonald's drive-thru. I saw this beat-up old pickup truck with plywood side panels built up on the box. And I saw that, and I went, wow, I got $1,000 in the bank. I'm going to go buy a truck for $700, build my own plywood sides, and start knocking on doors and alleys, laneways, and hauling away junk. And that basic business model became exactly who we are today. 1-800-GOT-JUNK. What started as having one truck really led to a business now where we've got over 2,000 trucks throughout North America, Canada, the United States, and Australia. And so dropping out of school might not have seemed like a good decision, but it certainly has paid off in the long run.
Well, with your dad being a surgeon, I'm sure he kind of did a double take when you were telling him you were going to leave school and kind of go your own route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, the time when he really did a double take was when, while I talked my way into college and found this business as a way to pay for college, I sat down with him 3 years into my degree and I said, Dad, I got some great news for you. I'm leaving university to pursue my business full time. And he said, how is that good news? I said to him, listen, Dad, I'm learning so much more about business by running a business versus studying in school. And I made that tough decision to drop out. And the only reason I say it was a tough decision was because my father, I knew that he wasn't going to be too pleased with what was going on.
Not too thrilled with all that, yeah, and pretty much probably not having it either. But, I really applaud you because you kind of just, not only did you blaze your own trail, but you looked at kind of what drove you from a passionate standpoint and just went after that. A lot of times when people, they start businesses, you think, well, I'll get into this business or that business because I'm going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, and it I think in the early days it was a little bit about the money, but not a lot of money. It was the amount of money I would need for college. Then it became about money in a different way. It was, wow, what if I could grow this into a household brand in Vancouver, the city I started in? What if I could build $1 million business? Now, it took me 8 years to get there, and it's interesting because today, just with 1-800-GOT-JUNK alone, we'll do $1 million in revenue on any given busy day. So the momentum was built. But I really learned, I think, at an early age, and I'm grateful for this, that money doesn't buy happiness. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs that I know. Some are good friends, but they have the big houses, the swimming pools, the fancy cars. And I've seen that doesn't really impact their life in terms of meaning, and it doesn't really create happiness. And so I decided that my life's journey was to make meaning, not just money. Now, let's face it, I've got the things I want in life. While I drive a little pickup truck and, don't have a lot of toys, I have the money to do whatever I'd want to do. But what excites me the most is building a great team of people, a group of franchise owners. I get more pride watching our owners come into, whether it's Shack Shine, we've got one of our brands which does windows and gutters and power washing, or 1-800-GOT-JUNK or Wow One Day Painting. All of our brands, we take these young, hungry entrepreneurs that have never run their own business but want to. We teach them how, and we watch them build great lives, not just a great living.
Well, and how empowering is that you're able to see this system that you've developed to be duplicated and people are able to have their own level of success? I mean, you must feel really good about that.
I feel great about it. I feel great that we've got 250 owners, 250 franchise partners who are building teams of their own. I just heard from one of our team members who came back from Dallas. They had 40 potential new franchise partners there who were so excited about the opportunity to be a part of building something bigger and better together. And some people choose to go to college. Some people choose to go and drop out like I did, but many people choose to learn from others, learn from a franchise organization, learn how to build something together from people that have already done it. And so the fact that I got to build this quote-unquote recipe for people to follow and for us to be there to support them in building any one of our brands, it's been a really, really fun ride, and sometimes I still feel like we're just getting started.
I'm sure you are, because you've got so many different things that you're working on. It seems like this is just the beginning for you, really, in many ways.
Yeah, well, when I look at the parent company that we have created, it's called O2E, which stands for Ordinary to Exceptional. So the frame in which we evaluate, or the filter, if you will, of how we evaluate a new opportunity and a new group of people, is we look at a business and we say, okay, Wow One Day Painting. People paint homes all day long. There's lots of competition. How do we revolutionize that space? And we came in and we said, we've created a way to paint a home in a day. No compromise in quality, no rushing at all. It takes the same amount of time, but it's compacted into 1 day versus 2 weeks and minimizes the disruption for the customer. That's a great way for us to take something new and innovative to provide an opportunity for others. And so we bring in all these people who really get excited about doing something different, by challenging the status quo, by building a business in a way that's never been done. And so again, you use the word pride. So much of the pride I take is that we're challenging business opportunities that in a way where someone hasn't done things the way we've done. We got to build the junk removal industry with 1-800-GOT-JUNK. It was a fragmented mom and pop business. It was a very ordinary business that we've done in an exceptional way. It's the same thing we're doing with painting, taking the ordinary business of painting and making it exceptional. And that's how the parent brand came to be, O2E, Ordinary to Exceptional.
I'm sure you get a lot of people going, well, hey, I've got this really great idea that we could go ahead and make exceptional, because there are a lot of industries out there that can use a little exceptional. So.
Yeah, there is, and I really enjoy as a consumer myself always keeping an eye out for the companies that are doing it well, the companies that I can learn from, and even an experience today. I've got a big fan of Starbucks. I love coffee, so that really helps. But I love the fact that no matter what city I'm in on any given day, when I walk into a Starbucks, they treat me like a friend. They're warm. They're friendly. They say hello. They say goodbye. They say thank you. And they just do such a great job with an hourly wage empowering their baristas to be just such wonderful advocates of customer service and great ambassadors. So I think, how can we do the same thing in home services? How can we just take ordinary people and help them be exceptional each and every day? That's the opportunity that we've got, and that's what feels good and makes a difference.
Well, and so during the time that you started your business and through that, because your 1-800-GOT-JUNK has had such a transformation, what would you consider like one of the biggest failures and probably lessons learned that you experienced in business?
I think one of the most powerful, which was also one of the most painful, I think they go hand in hand, is I had a situation where 11 employees, I was $500,000 in sales in the early days. We had 5 trucks. Now, they say that expression, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. I think I had 9 bad apples out of 11, and I decided my only way forward to build a professional junk removal company was to start again. I got rid of all 11 people, and I started with 2 words: I'm sorry. I said to this team, I'm sorry I let you down, didn't give you the love and support you needed to be successful. I might not have, frankly, found the right people. These were not people that I looked at like friends. We weren't having fun together, and it really meant it was a chance for us to start again, to find the right people. And so I had to define what were the right people for us and our company. Back to the Starbucks example, it's hire happy people, people that would treat our customers like friends, people that would give this warmth while we're just hauling away junk or maybe washing someone's windows. We hear from people all the time, wow, your team from Shack Shine is so amazing. They're so warm and friendly. Your junk removers with 1-800-GOT-JUNK, what great people. They just did such a great job. All we're doing is taking away a pile of junk, yet somehow we leave people with an impression that this company is doing something exceptional.
There must have been a lot of lessons learned from that experience, because most people, maybe if they haven't run a business, they don't understand how big a deal it is to let that many people go and kind of just rebuild. You're starting from scratch.
Yeah, rebuilding from scratch was tough. I still can't even remember because it was a painful period of my life. I can't remember if it was 3 months or it was 6 months to rebuild. But I knew that every single person I interviewed was someone I felt like I could have a beer with and be friends with. I knew that everybody had to be a happy, smiley, positive person. And I just had this new filter for how to find people. And I paid attention to finding the right people and treating them right. In fact, at our head office, the Junction, we've got, a staff of about 500 or so. The first thing anyone would see, a new employee or a potential employee walking in the door, is they see this big sign that said, it's all about people with my name below it. That is up to represent that is the most important thing in our business. Find the right people and treat them right. If we find the right people, they will in turn treat the customer right. If the customer loves our people, they're going to go on to talk about the brand. And so we take care of our people, they take care of our customers, and the customers take care of our brand. And it's a formula that has not let us down.
That culture of enthusiasm that you've built for your business is contagious. And you can tell with the people that are working with you and your clients, customers, people who you come in contact with, they all want to be a part of that.
Yeah, they do. I think that the passion, the energy and enthusiasm is contagious. When people walk into the Junction, what they would see is a lot of storytelling on the walls. They'd see a lot of smiley, friendly faces. They'd see no private offices. Nobody's separated by walls. We're all out in the open. And while it's a loud, busy place, it's a happy place. And it feels more like a fun restaurant than it does an office. And the energy is contagious, which is why we've strategically set up our office to be the vibe and feel that it has, filled with such wonderful people.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, and I love how you talk about making a living versus making a life. And I think for a lot of our listeners, they can really gain a lot by hearing that.
Yeah, I think that so many people, especially in your youth, I'm 48 years old now, and I feel certainly like I've got a lot of youth left. But, when I think back to when I was 20, I think we are sort of motivated a little bit by money, and we think that we want things to make us happy when it's really the people, the experiences, the impact we have on others that truly makes us happy. I had a friend that bought a fancy car, and a week later he went and returned it. He said, you know what? I had 3 days of happiness, and I thought, this is super cool. I've hit a goal. I feel really awesome driving this car. But 4 days, the remaining 4 days in the week, he said, this just isn't doing it for me, and it's just not worth it. And the happiness faded very quickly. It's like, I think there was this movie Boiler Room. I remember Ben Affleck said, whoever says money doesn't buy happiness doesn't have any. And you know what? Is so far from the truth. Money does not buy happiness. We need enough money to have a comfortable home and a safe place and so on, to have some freedom to do the things we want to do. But when we make money our focus, I think it gets in the way because it's not authentic. When we really look to a deeper meaning, like you said, the passion is contagious. People really latch onto it and go, look what that team, that person is building. I'm excited. I want to be a part of that. And that's what really ends up then bringing in the money when you're not even trying.
Well, I'm sure if you're hiring now, there are a lot of people searching out your website to apply.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun place. By no means are we perfect. And, the book WTF Willing to Fail wouldn't be authentic itself if we didn't really support failure. We make mistakes. Lots of things go wrong in our company. We try and do our best, and we're not always there. But that's part of the fun and the excitement of it as well, is that we improve together. We ask questions. We listen to our team, our franchise partners, and we try and make things better. And so it's that philosophy, I think, that does make it a great place to work.
Well, and there comes, I applaud you because there's this strong amount of courage that comes with being able to put yourself out there, to try something different, to look at something and say, hey, I can make that better. I could do better with this. And to really kind of leave your legacy, on the planet. Because not only are you impacting with your book the people who read it, and they're learning, hey, failure's okay. I can hit these marks, and if things go sideways, it's not the end. But also the people that you work with and come in contact with.
Yeah, you're right. And all the people we come in contact with, I feel like if we can inspire them to make a better life, not just a better living, if we can inspire them to take care of others, whether it's customers, their friends, their family, people often don't realize that you can do a lot of good in the world with a business. A business isn't just about making money. It's far from that. That's not the biggest priority. You need the money to continue to thrive and grow and bring more people into the fold. But it is about making a difference that really, and I think there's a lot of great companies out there now that are starting to see that impact is a big driver, and that companies are getting out there and going, you know what, corporate and social responsibility is important, but let's start with our own home. Let's take care of the ones we love in our own office, our own people, and help develop them. That's such a great way to inspire change in the world, and it's certainly something that's working for us.
In your book, you talk about this story, and this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, in regards to the folks at Waste Management that you guys had this meeting with. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about that with our listeners, because I think they would find that fascinating.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was getting wined and dined by a $13 billion company, and now this is a great company, Waste Management. I think they do a fantastic job, and they were very warm, smart people. And they took me out on a boat. They took me up to this fancy fishing resort in northern British Columbia, and it was just a beautiful part of the world. And there I am out on the boat with two executives from the largest garbage company in the world. If you've ever seen Sopranos, that might have a little bit of humor for you. But there I am being told, you should sell your company. We should buy this. And they were talking numbers that were in the $75 to $100 million range, which was more money than I could have ever imagined what to do with at that age. And I kept saying no. And I was worried that, here I am saying no to these garbage execs. That might not be a wise idea when I can't even see the shore. But what I did believe in, and I told them, is I'm not done. I don't know if I'll ever be done. I love what I'm building with the people that we're building it with, and we've truly got something special. This isn't about cashing in and exchanging the growth of my baby for money. This is about building a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and a chance to make meaning in the world. And, they got it. We continued to fish, had a couple of beers and a great time, and the rest is history.
Well, and it's interesting because when presented with large amounts of money like that, some people would kind of go, well, wait a minute, maybe I should sell, but you are really driven by passion as opposed to, to money. And we've kind of touched on that a little bit already, but it's really interesting because when you look at it, and I'm sure when we all look back on our lives, we look at the legacy that we leave behind, and it's if that's something that is a driving force, I mean, at the end of the road, you've got to be feeling pretty good about what you've done.
Yeah, and, back to the money thing again that you touched on. I mean, anybody I've ever met that has just buckets and buckets of money, if they're not driven openly by meaning and making a difference, and they seem like they're really driven by things and toys and money, I would guess they're not that happy. Because, again, that stuff is so surfacey. I believe we're all here on the planet to make this world a better place in whatever way, shape, or form. The gifts we have, we can be able to take advantage of and give to the world. And I think that's the most important thing anyone can do is get in touch with, while this might sound a little too spiritual maybe, but get in touch with their inner sort of purpose and gift to understand why they are here and what they want to do to the world and how they can inspire others, because every single person is here to, I think, inspire and make a difference.
I would agree with you. I know a few people that they may have planes and helicopters and vacation homes and stuff like that, but internally they're also some of the most miserable people I've ever come across. It's because they don't have that meaning within their life, and the things they're fine. Like you were talking about your friend with the car. I mean, it's fine for the first few days, and then after that, it's like, okay, well, it's just another thing. And so defining, making a difference and having purpose and what inspires somebody is something to get excited about. And that's why I think so many people are excited not only by your book, Willing to Fail, but also about the work that you do.
Yeah. No, it's been fantastic. This is a neat show to be on because it's not every day that you connect with someone who understands and sort of shares that same belief. So it's really fun talking to you.
Oh, well, hey, you're making my day. I love chatting about this, And, so with all the great things you have going on, what do you see for you next? I mean, what do you have kind of on the docket?
Yeah, I think it's growing bigger, it's growing better, it's more great people that we can bring into the fold. As we continue to build out our other brands, again, Wow One Day, You Move Me, Shack Shine, finding more great, young, hungry, awesome people that want to grow something with us. We've got such a great thing. I think it's just we all want more of a great thing. Call it greedy, but you know what? It's about others and helping them fulfill their life's dreams and their life's work. So I've never wanted to build a company alone, and I've tried, and it's lonely. I really believe in building something great with lots of great people. So it's more of the same. Will we add a fifth company one day? Probably. We're too busy right now to consider that, but we'll certainly get there. And, the future is certainly bright, I'm sure.
So, and I think I have time for one more question here. When you look back and even now, who do you think, who's in your list of people that really inspires you and kind of motivates you?
It's funny, but I would have to say everyone. And, that might sound like a confusing answer. I've met people who have been mentors like Fred DeLuca, who was the founder of Subway, who's sadly since passed, but an amazing mentor who built multi-billion-dollar business, or Robert Herjavec from the Shark Tank, another friend and mentor. And I look at people that have built really big, special things and how interesting and inspiring those people are. But I also sit there and I look at my children, my children's friends, strangers I meet on the street, someone I'm sitting next to on a plane. I love just talking to people and finding out what's their story, what's their meaning in life, what are their goals and dreams. I've never met one person that has it all, because that just isn't real life. The people that inspire me the most are the next stranger, the person I'll meet tomorrow. Right this very minute, just as we wrap up this call, I've got a team of people from my company who are volunteers, who have volunteered for something. It was their idea, and I get to join them, but they made 600 sandwiches to go give out to the homeless. I find that inspiring, that I get to go help give out some of the sandwiches that they've made, and it's a beautiful world. So a lot of fun.
You guys are making such a huge impact, and that's what it's really about. And I just congratulate you, Brian, not only on the success of your book, but the continued success of your business. Where can our listeners connect with you and be part of your community?
Yeah, I think on social media, of course. So just Google Brian-Scudamore, at Brian-Scudamore on Instagram is a good place to start, or Google O2E Brands. Letter O, number 2, letter E, brands.com, and they can certainly find more information about all our brands, what we do, how to get inspired by it, how to give us feedback, how to become part, whatever they want to do and whatever the fit might be. But I really appreciate, Marianne, you having me on your show, and this has been a ton of fun.
It's been such an honor to spend this time with you, Brian, and to talk about not only your companies, but your new book, Willing to Fail. Willing to Fail is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all indie bookstores. And if they don't have it on the shelf, ask for them to order it. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. You're listening to Moments with Marianne. And remember, make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Moments with Marianne airs every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.